Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you like all things true crime, if you like it delivered in a peaceful, tranquil manner, if you like it clear and concise without drama, then I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you like what you hear, please smash the like button. It's a free way you can help. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. Well, hello there. How y'all doing? I hope you're having a great day, great afternoon, great evening, whatever you're doing, and wherever you are. Noah Presgrove's battered and naked body was found in the early morning hours of Monday, September 4th, 2023, about 1 mile from the 4-day birthday party he'd been attending with friends. The party was to celebrate Avery Howard's 22nd birthday, and the party took place at her house. 19-year-old Noah was found lying on the shoulder of an unlit 2-lane highway in Terrell, Oklahoma, sometime around 6 a.m. Now, Noah's body from the waist up was, in a word, broken. The base of his skull had been split in two. His spine was fractured, ribs were broken, and there was an 8-inch head wound to the left side of his scalp, and it was peeled back to the bone. His legs were surprisingly unscathed. No broken bones there, and he was still wearing one slip-on shoe. To the untrained eye, it might have looked like a hit-and-run accident, but the fact that he was still wearing that one shoe and the lack of both injuries to his legs and car debris in the area screamed that this was no hit and run. If Noah did not sustain these grotesque injuries due to a collision with a vehicle, then why was he deceased along the road? It's been nearly 1 year since Noah passed away, and still his family waits for answers. This is one of those small-town mysteries, the kind where nearly all of the friends who were with Noah in the hours before he was discovered dead either aren't talking or what they're saying doesn't add up. And then there are those who are talking, but each time they talk, they tell a slightly different story. We know that the truth never changes. Thus, I think it's safe to conclude that somebody is lying. And the question is, why? Most of the current theories about how Noah sustained these fatal injuries suggest that he was pulverized by the hands of others, some of which may have been holding golf clubs. However, a new theory by the well-known CSI and cold case expert Sheryl McCollum has me rethinking the entire case. McCollum was on the YouTube channel Partners in True Crime, and she shared her theory, which involves Noah possibly being injured in 2 separate incidents. Now is a good time to grab a drink because this theory is absolutely fascinating. Before I share McCollum's theory, let me just say that she's upset with the manner in which the local police handled the case. First, they did not treat the area where Noah was found as a potential crime scene. Thus, the scene was contaminated by multiple people who showed up and touched potential evidence. Noah's best friend, Jack Newton, is one of these people. He has admitted to picking up a pair of white printed shorts that he says were in the middle of the road. Jack took the shorts out of the roadway and placed them in his truck before another person at the scene told him to put them back. Jack's father, who also turned up at the scene, picked up a tooth, a molar to be precise. Both of these actions should not have taken place at that scene. Now, let's return briefly to the shorts. While Jack says Noah was naked, save for one shoe, when he came upon the body, another partygoer named Caden Pressey says that when he and several other friends from the party went to the scene, they saw Noah on the ground, but he was wearing the same black shorts that he'd worn all day Sunday, September 3rd. The second greatest mystery of this case, next to whodunit, is who took the black shorts and why. I'm just going to be straight up with you. My mind goes straight to Jack Newton, only because he was already handling the white shorts. Why was he so concerned about the white shorts in the moments right after he claims he first noticed Noah dead on the pavement? It seems logical to assume Jack was the likely culprit when it comes to the black shorts. This is just my opinion, just me speculating. Jack hasn't been accused of anything. He hasn't been charged with any crime. McCollum said that in addition to locking down the scene, the local police should have also taken statements that morning from all of the partygoers who were 17 years old or older. The cops should also have gone to the party house as soon as possible and done a thorough search inside and out. In essence, the police should have assumed from the get-go that this might be a homicide. If they had started like that to try and either prove or disprove a homicide, then they would have naturally taken steps that would have preserved potential evidence. One simple thing they could have done once they heard that some of the partygoers had been goofing around with Jack Newton's four-person side-by-side all-terrain vehicle, or ATV as they're called, was to look at grass areas near the highway and the party house to see if there were any ATV tracks. Unfortunately, none of this was done, even though the scene was talking to most people, and what it was saying was, this was not a hit and run. McCollum said that when a victim has a pattern injury, she begins her investigation from that pattern injury, and she works her way out from there. Now, Noah had a pattern injury that jumped out to McCollum. It was on his upper back, and it contained some type of black material. Thanks to this injury, McCollum believes that Noah may have been run over by the ATV. She thinks that the black material may have come from a tire. And this is why McCollum is hoping that the local authorities will do an accident reenactment. In McCollum's theory, she posits that there may have been an initial accident with the ATV in which more than 4 people got in and on the ATV. She speculated that Noah, who was known to be very athletic and something of a daredevil, possibly sat on the front of the ATV or maybe even tried to car surf standing up on it somehow. And then if the ATV really did wreck, as some partygoers say, and possibly flipped over, Noah would have been thrown off, and the driver of the ATV could have possibly even rolled over him at that point. Did Noah sustain a head injury? Perhaps a brain bleed at that moment? An internal injury like this would not be visible to the eye, so they might think everything's fine. But then did Noah's condition maybe deteriorate? Some of the girls at the party said that they gave Noah a shower and then fed him ramen noodles and yogurt. Why would Noah have needed help taking a shower? Was he so out of it at that point as to be unable to do this himself or to feed himself? But there are a few things to note about this. One, at the autopsy, the only thing found in Noah's stomach was brown liquid. There were no noodles, no signs of yogurt. Because of the timeline, that food would not have been fully digested. Thus, it would appear that the girls who said they fed Noah are either mistaken or lying. Why the need to make it look like they were taking care of Noah? The other thing that stands out because of its absence is the documentation of this ATV wreck and the girls giving Noah a shower. This was a 4-day party, and throughout it, the kids were taking photos and videos of all the action. Personally, I've got to believe that they did take videos during the ATV ride, and probably during the shower too. So why weren't these videos found on the phones of the partygoers? By the way, when the police finally took a look at some of the kids' phones, those phones had been wiped clean. Very suspicious. Back to McCollum's theory. So she believes Noah maybe sustained some of his injuries during the first ATV wreck, a wreck that occurred when someone else was likely driving the side-by-side, i.e. not Noah driving. Then possibly Noah did walk off from the party, as some of the partygoers say. We know one girl posted a Snapchat that was time-stamped at 3:41 a.m. saying that Noah was missing. Did Noah really walk off from the party house, possibly all the way to the highway, only to collapse there from a brain bleed or another internal injury? And then, did Jack Newton and maybe 2 other partygoers go back out in the ATV looking for Noah? And because it was so dark out along this rural highway, maybe did they not notice Noah on the pavement and then accidentally drive over the top part of his body? Per McCollum, rolling over a body on the ground is very different from hitting a person who is standing up with a vehicle. The latter would definitely lead to broken bones in the knees and the legs. It would also lead to car debris being in the roadway or on the side of the highway. A rollover accident would explain why Noah had a laceration to the top of his head, broken upper and lower teeth, including a missing molar. McCollum says that that molar could have been popped out through pressure as the ATV rolled over Noah. And a rollover would also explain his skull fractures, lacerations to his right and left lungs, rib fractures, and at least 10 fatal wounds. Had Noah been hit by a vehicle, he would have had injuries to his lower body, and his shoe would probably have been off. McCollum also doesn't believe that Noah was dumped on the highway after being injured somewhere else, and this is because there were clumps of hair as well as those teeth on the pavement. Someone would have had to gather those items up if he was harmed elsewhere and then take them to the highway to plant along the pavement. McCollum is also adamant that Noah did not fall out of a truck because had he, there would have been injuries to his hips, his thighs, his knees, along with road rash. McCollum believes something happened on the side of the road. And guess what? There is some evidence to support this. A female driver who happened to be driving down that same highway around 4:48 a.m. on Monday morning said she was freaked out when an ATV with 3 people in it suddenly pulled out right from the same area where Noah's body would later be found. Could that have been the moment when whoever was driving the ATV accidentally drove over Noah? Or did that accident happen earlier and maybe the kids were just going over to check the body at that point? I say that because some people at the party said they knew by 4 a.m. that Noah was dead. If the kids accidentally drove over Noah and they had all been drinking, it's easy to understand why they might be afraid to tell the police. Also, it appears that the family who hosted the party quickly lawyered up right after Noah died, possibly out of fear of getting sued. It's also been said that the party house was promptly cleaned after Noah's body was found. And the next day, the house reeked of bleach. The adults might have advised the kids to stay quiet, perhaps reasoning that Noah was already gone, nothing could be done to turn that around, so why should their futures be jeopardized by telling the cops the truth? But I do wonder about parents who help their kid have a 4-day booze fest where firearms and an ATV are readily available. Last time I checked, weapons and excessive drinking don't make for a good combination. And the same goes for booze and ATVs. Apparently the family of this birthday girl, Avery Howard, hasn't even reached out to Noah's family. Either they have zero decency, zero moral compass, or they're afraid to reach out. And in fact, Avery's mother and Jack Newton's father have been rather nasty apparently on Facebook, almost blaming Noah for what happened to him. Victim shaming by the parents is not a good sign, And it's not a good lesson for those young adults. What are you teaching your kids? How long can those who know the truth keep their dark secret? Dark secrets are a heavy burden to bear. It can take a toll. No matter what happened, Noah deserves to rest in peace, and I don't think he can do that until someone who knows, someone with a conscience, comes forward to relieve themselves of that heavy burden. What do you guys think happened to Noah? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. If you enjoyed this, if you learned something, please smash that like button and please subscribe to the channel.
Come on. Yes, come on, Shady. Oh! Damn.
This rain, I will fucking.
Dude, I'll just beat the Kyle was talking about that hit me.
Like, I'm actually bleeding out. I would just rather you know, so I don't know where
No, you slapped me. I slapped you.
as far as I can.
I do trust you. I trust you. I trust you. Hit me then. I trust you. Hit me. You're really holding this.
Hit me soon. Go ahead. See, I wasn't.